Blessed love and peace in Rastafari. This is a brief recording concerning ethical welfare programs. So, just the concept, the methodology, the implementation. So, the gist of it is that an ethical welfare program is much like a social welfare program. Social welfare programs are subsidies that are provided to people who are comparatively indigent or disabled in terms of functioning normally or proficiently within society. Mental disability, I don't like the term mental disability because that's another thing, but those who do have some type of emotional, psychological challenge in terms of relating with and competing within society, physical challenges, and additionally, so it's something ancient, charities looking out for each other, this, that, and the other, the poor, the orphan, the widow, da 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 da. Social welfare programs, that's what that is. Around, again, thousands of years, generations after generations, to varying degrees of authenticity and effectiveness and genuineness, but that's all around the world. Some societies are based primarily upon that, or I should say, by that I mean some societies contribute over 50% of their income for these purposes and provide comprehensive services. Some societies are increasingly stingy and just provide like the basic minimum. So anyways, religions call for this tithing and additionally zakat, tzedakah, all them things. So that's what that is. Social welfare program. Now, ethical welfare program is something different, similar. Ethical welfare program is where the nation, society, the world community, via the United Nations and additionally, a municipality, a state, a province, provide subsidization for people to live a high standard of ethics beyond what's called for within society, and in living those ethics are very disadvantaged in competing and living proficiently within society, because well, I'll leave away the commentary, but it's just difficult to live a high standard of ethics within regular society. So because of that, and because society recognizes the benefit for people to live in this way, then it's a matter of providing a subsidy, because people who are living by these high standard ethics are not cheating. They're not like utilizing that money for nefarious purposes, or it's not even necessarily money, but provisions or whatever else. It's not cheating the system. It's like these people are living by ethics. So society benefits because when people live by ethics, they share the knowledge of those ethics. They share the knowledge of the living, the benefit, the history, the mechanics, the mathematics, the esoteric about those ethics. There's a lot about knowledge and living within this universe that's beyond language, and that's beyond just memorizing joints. I was about to use some profanity there. So anyways, it comes from people living the life, and then in people living the life, people share. We're back on the bars. Nice, nice. So people sharing that knowledge, sharing that the light, and additionally, that comes from living, only from living the ethics, and so that's the basic gist of it. It's subsidization for people to live that way, and it can be from partial, just like complimentary, all that too, supplementary provisions, whether it's food stamps, whether it's utility forgiveness, whether it's rental help or whatever on rental payments or whatever. It can be full provisions of housing, even campuses, where people who make these vows. I'm going to do a pause right here for a second. Hi. Hi. I share with you something from my history. There's a photograph that's dear to me and my family, and the photograph is of me, maybe around 6 or 7 months old. Maybe I was 11 months old. A little tyke on the playpen, and I'm hanging on the bar of the playpen like this. And my dad is just watching me, and dad's like, "Oh, look at him, he's so strong and everything." And I was like standing there for so long. My dad tells my mother, "Get the camera." So they take a picture of me hanging. I was looking at it yesterday because when I see your children doing it, I'm reminded of that. So it conjures
that memory. So it has it tugs at the heartstrings when I see that. So I always want to encourage that and see that. So yeah, beautiful. Yeah, well, it's amazing how strong children are in that respect. So okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And then the next thing is you want to find people who can guide that into something that's like constructive and everything else like that. Because we always want to encourage the capabilities and the spirit that exists within the children and everything else like that. So in healthy ways and constructive ways. So yeah, yeah. So, cheers, likewise. Peace and blessings to you. All right. Aha. It's very nice to share. So it is very you have a very kind voice in sharing that. So I appreciate that. And a pretty yellow dress too. Ah, well, we learn. We learn. Bye bye, you too. That's beautiful. So, as I mentioned, it's sharing it in partial ways, but also full ways. Having an entire campus for people who all take this vow, and it could be different vows. I mean, based upon what the priorities of the society are and the norms of society are. But one standard is just the Panchasilas: peace, sharing, chastity, honesty, sobriety. That's what the Buddha prescribes. It can be something from Judaism, it can be something from Christianity, it can be something from Islam, it can be something from the humanist tradition, or whatever society deems appropriate collectively. Even again at the municipal level, a city just providing a program along these lines. And so those who sign up, and it has to be, austere, and it's not just like what everybody should be doing, what everybody can be doing, but like next level type stuff that goes above and beyond the norm, but is also recognized as beneficial. So, and it's beneficial beyond just like one kind of thing that befits like a specific political. And like, I mean, environmentalism is beautiful, but it's not just like a matter of like we agree to recycle and here's our stipend. It's a matter of like, yo, next level type stuff. And so for those who sign on, in the example of a campus, okay, a campus, like in the campus, there's housing. They don't have to pay for housing. Don't have to pay for utilities in the campus. There's food provisions, so there's somebody who administrates either like a cafeteria and or a food co-op where people can receive the groceries. Okay, and again, everybody who's living on the campus, it's like living at a university and having a card program or whatever. So people, everything is provided for because the people are living in this austere way. And again, it's based upon what the priorities are. I mean, in the methodology, well, before I get to the methodology of implementation or whatever, it's a matter of um, so that's the gist of it. It's a range of how much can be implemented, like the options that can be implemented from again partial provisions to full provisions, campus level, whatever. And the thing is, in this experience, um, the places where the vow takers, the ethical practitioners live, whether it's a housing complex, whether it's just individual housing accommodations, whether it's a campus, those places, particularly campus, am I being prejudiced? Am I being biased? You betcha. So, but particularly in the campus level, those places become pilgrimage sites. They become places where people flock to and be like, yo, let's chop it up because it's inspiration. They feel like somebody who's increasingly trustworthy. It's not a political leader, whatever, who has some type of angle, whatever. These are people who are only their hustle is the ethics. And so it's like there's an intrinsic genuineness within. And again, one of the protocols that's prudent in these ethical welfare programs is no quid pro quo, like no obligations, no requirements in terms of on the part of the practitioners, the ethical practitioners, other than simply practicing the ethics. So no like annual reports, no monthly reports, no filings, no like required lectures or no required lectures or whatever, no quotas or anything else like that. Nothing. Give it. There it is. Live it, give it. How about that? That's the campaign. Um, And because organically, naturally, what happens is people who live these ethics have a spiritual, esoteric obligation to share, because that's the nature of it. And so again, when people see this, people from the regular society want to go there, talk it up, chop it up. Yo, how are you living? What's going on? What's happening? What you learning? What did you think about this? Where'd you get this from? That's where the learning comes from. That's where the growing people are inspired. People are motivated. People are encouraged. People have greater faith in society, in each other, in relationships, in truth, and all these other things from the interaction. How do I know? Because I'm living it, and I'm not trying to brag or nothing else. I'm just testifying and imploring. How about that too? So, and this is ad hoc. This is off grid. Whatever. So there's the benefit in making it increasingly intentional and systemic and honest. So that's the nature of the ethical welfare program, and it has a completely different connotation than the social welfare program of being a charity, of being a peon and less than and below the normal, below society, just little unthankful, ungracious, whatever. This is first of all, that's BS on the part of those who hold that opinion towards recipients. And yes, people do take advantage and cheat and everything else like that, but that's just the system. But the ethics is a different culture, it's a different joint. And when people break those ethics, if they don't abide by what the vows are, and just it can be either summarily kicked out of the campus, of the program, of any stipends or whatever. It could be sent to a halfway house of like probation. And saying, "Yo, tripping, let's get back on board," and from that, either returning back to the ordinary program or getting reintroduced into society. Haha, there's motivation right there. So it's all voluntary, but there it is. So that's the basic gist of it, the ins and outs, basically. Now, in terms of implementation, it's doable right now. It can go again, municipality. Do you have going to the council, city council, whatever, going to a discretionary fund and say, do you have this available for somebody who takes this vow? I guess it's a matter of first of identifying what that vow is, the details, whatever else. But the simpler, the better. Going back for what Lao Tzu teaches about the further the laws are, the further people cheat. So it's a matter of keeping simple. This is an agreement. This is agreement in good faith. It's an agreement of the heart, of the spirit. So it's like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. Boom, there it is. And so going to the municipality, say, are you ready for ethical? First, are you ready for ethical welfare program? And then how about earmarking this amount for a partial stipend for those who sign up in this year, and this, that, and the other. And then it can go again further, steep it up, whatever else. But then, like, for those who have those networks and everything else like that, going to the UN and getting larger grants, for even going to the municipality and getting a larger grant for the municipality to set up a campus, to set up a specific a complex of flats, residential flats, for people who sign up. And additionally, you can have an oversight committee in terms of ensuring that there's genuine appropriation of the materiality, but also oversight concerning the genuine practice of the ethical practitioners, and any methodology of evaluating and adjudicating accusations of the contrary, if somebody's accused of breaking the principles, whatever. So anyways, again, from the municipal level, getting into the political system, locally, domestically, whatever, and implementing the ethical welfare programs in a way that is receptive to the local communities, to provincial state communities, national assemblies, to the international level. Even NGOs, could be a private thing, going to civic societies, philanthropies, and doing it through the private sphere, going to IGOs, NGOs, BRICS. I shout out that joint very often for actually decades at this point, probably nearly since its inception, even perhaps even before its inception. But NGOs, IGOs, religious organizations, and just again, same thing. It can be small stipends, or it can be big amounts. So and big, it doesn't even be amounts. It could just be go to KSIT. How about that? Or go to some other big agency that has big pockets and say, like, hey, purchase this land right here, get this building right here, make it available for people who practice this vow. Boom, there it is. So it can be done literally overnight. billion-dollar deals are made on napkins from bars and stuff like that. So, anyways, there it is. How do I know? Am I testifying? Am I bearing direct witness? It's based on actually hearsay, but reliable and multiple hearsay, and also first-person testimony from others. So, I don't do billion-dollar deals. We beyond that. So, no, we're not bigger or smaller, but we just different. Peace, blessings, all thanks and praise to the Most High. Respect and honor to His Majesty Haile Selassie. Respect and honor to Her Majesty Wise Saruman, and respect and honor to all our ancestors, all our prophets, all our sages, past and present, known and unknown. All thanks and praise to the Most High Elohim. Blessed love and peace, Rastafari.